What's going on, peeps? We back with another vid. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you share. You already know the vibes by now, I'd have to say it. Big up to everyone inside, big up all the 4 subscribers every time. Listen, this is the player ratings, the season for the whole season. Not everyone's going to score bad for the overall season. It will not be great, but not everyone's going to score bad. Like the youth players are not even going to mark because they played like maybe one, 2 game. That's about it. It wouldn't be fair to mark them on the season when they've already played a handful of games, if that. So it's definitely just going to be the senior players that's going to be marked for the season. So I'll say all that to say, not a great season. I did do a review on the season already. Obviously now we're in the conference, which, say what you want, nobody wants to be in there. For me, this competition should even exist, or if it should exist, there should be certain criteria to get into it. It shouldn't just be if you finish here in your league, you're in. Because I don't think it should be for players that have been in Champions League, Europa League. I don't think teams like, the Big Six or whatever should be in there. It should be for teams like your Wolves, teams of that nature, Newcastle, players teams like that don't be in Europe like that. I think that would be something for them to try and get in Europa League. Everton, teams like that, Crystal Palace, those kind of teams. But for your Tottenhams, Arsenals, and even Leicester, throw them in there, the Uniteds. For me, them kind of teams should even be in there. But I digress. It's about money, and they say it's about helping other teams, that can't reach these kind of competitions have a chance. And I guess in a way it helps, and that's good. But for me, I don't want my club in there, if I'm being real. And talking of clubs, I see the new home kit, and I must admit, it's nice, it's clean, all white. Obviously, it's got the old badge from when we won the league back in '61. It's got that badge on the inside and on the back, and obviously Spurs things in blue, the logo, the freaking night tick, and the writing is in red, the AII thing, and the cinch is in blue, I believe. But it's actually quite a clean kit, very retro looking, probably one of the better ones Nike have done, if I'm honest. But I need to see the away kit and the third kit first. But so far on the home kit, if they make a long sleeve, that would be ideal. But first impressions, I haven't seen it in person, but I might get it. It does actually look quite decent. I'll think about it. We'll see what business gets done in the summer, and we'll take it from there. But at the moment, I might cop. But our season overall has been poor, and you'll see my thumbnail that I've chose probably sums up our season. It's been hard to watch, painful at times, and just overall just not a great season. Probably one of the worst I've seen us in a long time. And as you can see, I'm wearing this shirt. This is when we were probably last played good football, and we probably should have won the league that season, but we blew it and made Leicester win it. We lost points to West Brom, and we blew a 2-0 lead against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. And from there, Leicester won and it was over. But as a fan, obviously, you go into the season with high hopes, and we did. Poch, when it was like just after we just lost the Champions League final. He came back, and by November he was gone. Mourinho came in. Obviously, we knew that Poch was going to leave. You could see it. There was kind of signs there in his press conferences. You can see it, but we didn't think it would actually happen. And when it did, some fans are happy. I'm not gonna lie, I was one of them. I said maybe he's lost the dressing room, and it's probably for the best because these players are not performing. Did I want him to leave? No, but have to put emotions out of the way. The club comes first. So if he's not got the dressing room, then what are we gonna really achieve? So he's got to go. No matter what emotion you have attached to him, he has to leave. But they brought Mourinho, and I didn't think he would have been the right manager to manage Tottenham, even though he was saying on Sky Sports that he's he's changed and he's evolved his tactics and what have you. And I'm thinking, okay, he's adapting to the new game. I was like, okay, cool, not bad. Then he comes as a manager. I'm like, okay, he wins trophies. It's a no-brainer. I see what Levy's doing. It's a risk, but I see what he's doing. And obviously November comes, win a few cups, get knocked out by Norwich, I remember, in the FA Cup and what have you. But, like, mate, he's coming, he's trying to implement his philosophy. I guess he's going to need more time. At first, when he first came in, we had, like, the West Ham game, Bournemouth game. And I think we won them, like, 3-2, both of them. Not great defensively, but going forward was great. And then I said, okay, maybe there is some slight improvements I can see at some point. Like Dyer, we had playing, like, at one point Dyer was our best defender. He was looking at Ramos. Don't know how he got it out of him. But then as the season progressed, we saw the real Dyer emerge. But, you know, we just made that season. We said, you know what, we're just going to chalk that one off. We're not even going to count that. We write that season off because it came in November. He needs time. It's usually his second season or his full season. He's going to come in and he's going to win us a trophy. Season starts off to a flyer, if we're being honest. This season we was on, well, last season now because the season's finished, but the start of the season we was flying. Top scorers in the league, best defence record in the league, up top of the league, doing a job, not always playing the best, but getting the 3 points. West Brom comes to mind, Harry Kane at the death. Even against Burnley, we went great. We got the win. Brighton as well, won the games there. Doing great, top of the league. By Christmas, well, before Christmas, it went to shit once we lost to Liverpool. But he did get us to a final, and he got sacked obviously before we played the final, but he did get us to one final. The League Cup final came, didn't look like we were even at the races at all. We looked red off pace, hence why we lost, but it's what it is. He's at the door. Ryan Mason came in at the helm, not great. Hard games to watch, most of them, because he just copy and paste the same team lineup and brought Harry Winks back in the fold. And he didn't show me nothing or no reason why he should be back in the fold ahead of Ndombele, but that's done. We move. Now let's get to what we're here for. We're here for the player ratings. So I just gave you a quick synopsis of the season, or Mourinho's time in charge, and that pretty much sums it up. Not great. We struggled against a lot of teams, dropping points from the lead at half time more than anyone. I think maybe Southampton might be level or above us, but he tried to play defensive, knowing the defenders he had at his disposal were not capable of defending for large parts of a game. But is what it is. Let's get into the player ratings. As always, we're going to start between the sticks, and we're going to start with my man Hugo Lloris. And to be honest with you, he made some howlers. He did make some mistakes, like against Liverpool, hitting the ball to the defender from to Trent Alexander-Arnold, I believe, just to hit it in. And there was another game, I think it might have been against West Ham, away at London Stadium. He made an error between him and Dyer, but at the same time, he's also bailed us out and kept us in games. Some brilliant saves. So I think he's made less errors than he has. He's kept us in games. So I'm gonna mark him down a bit, but I'm not really gonna knock him too tough because he definitely kept us in games. Some brilliant saves. Obviously, passing from the back, he does that and puts us under pressure, and then he ends up kicking the ball out of play all the time. But other than that, I'm gonna give him a. I think he's done alright. I'm gonna give Hugo a 7. I think he's been pretty decent this season, if I'm honest. Even in Europa League, he's making some good saves. In the league, cups, he's been great. But actually, no, 6, because I do remember he had some shockers. So no, I think 6 is probably a fair for him. I think 7 might be a bit too high. I'm gonna give him a 6. Joe Hart, I'm not marking him. He played a couple of games, and if I do mark him in those games that I've seen him in, he will be getting a 0. So it's probably better that I just don't mark him. Against Marine, misjudging the ball. Lucky for him, it just went over. He's not great. He spent more time as a pundit than he did on the pitch. So is what it is. I'm not even gonna mark him. He's not. That's it. Not applicable. I'm not even wasting my time. So that's the goalkeepers. Obviously, Alfred Whiteman I didn't see him feature, so he didn't get marked either. It wouldn't be fair. Plus he ain't played. Then we go to defenders. We go with Toby. He's definitely lost pace. You can see he's getting on now. So I don't know. He's a good defender, but we definitely need to replace him now. I think he's getting on. He'd be a good squad player, but as in the starting 11, I don't think we can go with him in certain games because he's not quick and he's getting caught out a lot. But other than that, I think he's been pretty solid. There was a time when he wasn't even playing, when Mourinho kept him out, which I thought was out of order because he made him miss. I'm sure he missed the birth of his child to be at a game, or he left his missus straight away. One of the two, but it was definitely baby either being born or about to be born, or definitely around that time. Meant to play, I think it was Aston Villa, and then didn't play him again for ages, which I thought was bang out of order. And that's when I knew Mourinho lost his mind and was going to lose the dressing room and was not going to succeed when he was one of the best defenders we had. If we're being real, him and Dyer at the start, that combination was doing bits. And then Mourinho just broke it and put Sanchez in there, and it is what it is. You know how the season turned out. So I don't need to say any more. But for me, the way he was treated was a disgrace for Mourinho. I think his play wanted a bit more game time than that. So for me, I'm gonna probably give him a. I'm gonna give him a 7 as well. He's actually been decent. I'm not gonna knock him. More time that we've conceded goals. I might give him a penny the other day, but more time he's saving us, so I'm not really gonna knock him. I'm gonna give him a 7. Sanchez, he came in. We have like 1 good game, 2 good games, and the rest of them would be poor. We saw that against Leicester, but I'm not really gonna knock him because he didn't play for ages, weeks before he played that last game against Leicester, to just throw him in there. So for me, I think it might be a little bit harsh to really mark him for that game, but because he did have some good moments, but he was definitely not great. And I'm not going to blame him because he wasn't getting no minutes. He needed minutes. And I think that's the kind of player Sanchez is. He needs minutes. You give him minutes, by game 4 or 5, you might see, or game 3, you might see some impact. But again, he made a lot of errors and just silly challenges that he shouldn't make. And I'm going to give Sanchez, for the whole season, overall, I will give him I'm going to give him a 5. I think I'll give him a 5. I think that's probably fair. even though he needs to leave the club, I will give him a 5. Next we go with Eric Dyer. We're going to go with Dyer. He's not a mid, he's a defender. We'll go with Eric Dyer. And as I said, at the start of the season, he was great. Middle of the season, decent. But at the back end of the season, not great. Very inconsistent. Hence why he's not in the Euro squad, the 33-man squad. He didn't make the cut because he was inconsistent. And he was not great. And the thing is, he started off the season so great. I was like, oh wow, Mourinho's turned him into a player. But then I don't know what happened. It was like a little temporary spell, and the spell just wore off, and he just went back to his normal self, like a Night Mike when he had the sneakers on. But once he never had them on, he was garbage. That's pretty much what happened to Eric Dyer. And for me, him not being in the England squad, even though he was pretty much in every qualifier and whatever else, tells you everything you need to know. And us going forward, he needs to leave the club because he is not the answer for our defence. And going forward, definitely something better, and he ain't it. But based on the season, good start, average, middle, I guess, and poor end. A lot of goals he was at fault for, which probably took us out of the top 4 running, if we're being real. So for me, harsh it might seem, but gotta be real. Dyer for me, probably would say 4. From being real, he did have some good games, putting some good blocks, which I'm giving him a 4 and not like a 3 or a 2. So I'm gonna give him a 4. Anyway, next up we're gonna go with Oria. Actually, he was great at the start, great in the middle. Towards the end, he had a couple of injuries and slowly kind of faded out, but he was actually good going forward. Even defensively at times, he was getting a lot better. He did give Ray a free kick against Aston Villa the other day, which led to a goal. So it's Aston Villa. And, well, it was recently, whoever it was, and they definitely scored from that set piece. So he still has it in him, but overall, going forward, he was a lot better. Defensively, positioning, he was much better. He went always flying in, being rash. He was being a bit more, making better decisions defensively and going forward. And I remember when, his brother passed away, brother got killed, and he was still playing and whatever, but that might have been the back end of last season. But still, he's took that into this season. He's been decent. He got goals, got a goal against Sheffield United, a goal against Man United, and he was alright this season. I will give Oria a 5. I think that's fair. He was average. Give him a 5. Ben Davies, he's been injured for so long. He's always injured. That's the thing with Ben Davies. He's not great, like, going forward. Like, he can't cross the road, but defensively, he's a lot better than Reguilon. Reguilon's the opposite. He's not great going back, but going forward, he's good. So it's like a yin and yang, but Ben Davies is, he's finished. He's not quick, he's got no pace. He always gets caught out, and then sometimes he can't get back in time to put in that block or stop the runner play or do anything to break down the play because he's well out of position. He ain't got the pace to get back. But when he's in there, he does do a job. When he's part of like a back three, he'd be putting his body on the line, putting in some good blocks. And I can only go off the games that I've seen from him. And again, they've been pretty average. I'll give him a 5 as well. Tanganga played a few games, not a lot. I don't think I'm even going to mark him. No, I'm not. Doherty trash. Came in, trash. Didn't see nothing from him apart from the last game of the season against Leicester. And I think there's a couple other games he was somewhat decent, but not good enough to make me say, oh yeah, we've got a right back here. The only thing that happened when he came in is it made Oria play a lot better. Other than that, didn't do anything. He's been not what I expected, not what I saw at Wolves, and he's still trying to get up to speed. All now at this time. What's taking so long? Not good enough. For me, 3, not good. Sounds harsh, but he's not been great. Doesn't bring anything defensively, and going forward, he weren't doing nothing either. So 3 is the best he's going to get, and he's only getting a 3 because he probably had 3 good games. So 3. If you don't feel different, please feel free to put your comments in the section. This is just my opinion, doesn't mean it's what I say is law. If you feel otherwise, put in the comments, and obviously we will have a conversation, and we'll talk and have a debate. There's nothing wrong with that. But for me, 3. We move. Reguilon. Good going forward, and he has been quite good going forward. Probably should have had a couple of goals this season, if we're honest. Defensively, very shaky. Back end of the season, he was not great. That game against Aston Villa, he should have been taken off. He was awful. He was at fault for all the goals, and his head was just gone. Even against Leicester, he was poor. Should have been taken off. To be fair to him, second half he came out, he was a lot better, but I'm not going to judge him on just the back end. He's been alright. It's what we've been asking for, an attacking right back who can cross and do whatever and what have you. Because we had Danny Rose, who was quick but couldn't cross. So at least we've got someone that can ping in balls. He's got a good few assists for Harry Kane. So he's been decent this season. He's just been average. The whole team's been pretty much average. So again, he's going to get a 5 from me. And we're going to go into Rodon. For me, Joe Rodon should have played the last couple of games. From after the game against Man City when he was cup tied, he should have been in for me. And that's where Mason, he went wrong. Ryan Mason just don't have a clue what he's doing. And you're paying Sanchez, who's not great. You're paying Dias having an absolute shocker, but you keep putting him in. You talk about Rodon having good training sessions and whatever else, you don't play him. So it's like, what's the point of even talking about him if you're not even going to play him? Start him. What have we got to lose now? The season was done from, I say, what game was it? Not Wolves. Leeds game. From the Leeds game when we lost, the league was done. Top 4, all that was finished once we lost that game. So for me, we just said, you know what? Let's put in some of the players that we don't usually play, throw them in there. Because we lost to them, we beat Wolves, then we lost to Villa. Come on. Then we beat Leicester. We couldn't make it up. Only Tottenham can do this. But for me, that's when you should put Rodon in, because you could see from that game there that defence was dead. Just garbage. And you had to put someone else in there. And Rodon, when he's been in against Liverpool, he was brilliant against Liverpool, even though we lost. He had that one lapse in concentration. But other than that, he was solid for the whole game. He just clears his lines, no bullshit, no nonsense defending, what I want from my defender. You're not taking touches and trying to do too much. You just put in Rose Ed or you pull it out. That's it. Clear your lines. But for me, when I've seen him play, he's been good. And I can't give him too high because it's hardly played, I guess. But again, all I can do is go for what I've seen him play. And to be fair, I will probably give him a 6 from what I've seen from him. He's been great. Even in the little cup games and what have you, he's been good. And I probably should give him a 7 because, again, even if he played, 5-6 games, that's enough to get a mark. And if you've done brilliant in those games, then how can I mark you a 3? So I probably am going to give him, a 7 because he's been solid. fuck it. My channel, my rating, my opinion. 7 for Joe Rodham. So big him up because he went through it, and I think it's only right that I give him some proper respect. And he's young, and he's come from Swansea into a big club, new league, and he gelled in well. So big him up. So for me, Rodham gets 7. Next, we're gonna go with midfield. We're gonna go with Harry Winks. He featured a little bit under Mourinho. The Mourinho threw him in the bin because he realised he was not good, and he came on, made some cameos, couldn't get a start. Sometimes couldn't even get in a squad towards the end of Mourinho's reign, with good reason, because he's not good. Winks is not a player that should be playing for Tottenham. He should be at like a Palace, Newcastle, some team like that. Definitely not at Tottenham. He's not good enough to be at this club. So yes, maybe he should reevaluate his future at this club, because it's not doing us a disservice. We're not upset. The fans, he ain't good enough. Ryan Mason brought him back in, and all of a sudden now he's playing 90 minutes. Well, no, you shouldn't be paying 90 minutes. You shouldn't be paying 9 minutes. So, for me, apart from that goal he scored, which was a fluke, he ain't bring nothing to the team. He ain't do anything. He's not good. The only thing, he comes on, he just passes sideways, and then sometimes he passes sideways so much, we give the ball away. He has to make tactical fouls. That's not what we need. So for me, he's not good enough, and he's getting can I give him? Trying to think of those teams scored. He had a couple of good games. I'll give him a 3. So he's gonna get a 3. He's not great. Eric Lamela, you know, that's my guy. Big him up. But again, him, a lot of time on the NHS list, always injured. When he plays, at one point, him and Lucas are better players, for being real. So, man like Coco, he's coming. Apart from when he's played, he's always given his all. That I will say. Sometimes he might give too much, that he would get like yellow card and red card like he did against Arsenal. But that's what you want, passion, and he gave it every game he was in, for the most part, going forward, trying to make something happen. So, for me, I'm going to give him, and as I said, him and Lucas were one of our better players last season. See what you want. They definitely were. That's why Mourinho was picking them. So for me, I would say I would give him a 7. And he got that goal against Arsenal, the derby, the Rabona. Getting a 7 for me. Next up, we go with Sissoko. Sissoko, you gotta go. You're not good. I'm gonna call you Sissoko. Sissoko. There's your name. Sissoko. Go and leave this club. Sissoko, not good enough. You come on, you've been nothing, but you give the ball away. You're slow. You ain't got a pass. You can't pass. You can't do anything. Hold up. Oh yeah. All you do is give the ball away, and you just showed that you're finished. Your legs are finished. Looks like you need to go like Wanyama. You're Wanyama 2.0, and we know what happened to him. So Sissoko, you're next. And I don't know how you got in the French squad ahead of Ndombele. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if it's there. Maybe you're like a leader in the dressing room and they need you, but ability-wise, it cannot be for that. And for me, Sissoko has not done anything great this season. Only thing he's done is put his shirt on the right way, his shorts on the right way, and possibly his boots on the right feet. Other than that, he ain't done anything. For me, he's not been great. I will give him a 3. Dele, this is a tricky one because he was playing, then after, I don't know what happened with him and Mourinho, but he was just frozen out. On the bench or not on the bench, 2 minutes here, no minutes there. And then when he did play in the Europa League and on game, he was showing his abilities. So it's a tricky one, and obviously of late he's been playing under Ryan Mason, and he's shown glimpses of what we know he can do. It's just that he don't do it on a consistent basis. But he's definitely played enough games and had enough minutes for me to judge him, and for considering his ability and what I know he can do, it's not good enough, unfortunately. And it's just below, he falls just below average for me. I will give him a 4, because I know what he can do. He's just not doing it, or he is doing it but not consistent enough, or on the scale that I expect him to do it. So for me, it's got to be a 4 for my guy Dele, I'm afraid. And Ndombele had a rough start, I'll say that. But this season, since Højbjerg's come in, that partnership was immense. And I don't know why Ryan Mason stopped it, but Mourinho saw it was working, and he just ran with it. Because you can see, he was on the ball, going forward, getting out of tight spots with like 3-4 players around him, scored that banger against Sheffield United, scored a goal against, well, it's a fluky goal against Wolves, but mate, he was probably only one of the players in midfield scoring goals. So he scored more goals than Ryan Mason already did in his whole career. Probably winks. So come on, man, what are we doing? This guy is an absolute baller. You can see the ability there. Sometimes he goes down a bit too easy, or sometimes he just takes too long on the ball. When he should pass it, he wants more touches. And that's the only thing I will say is his downfall, that he holds on the ball too long sometimes. But other than that, when he does release the ball, it's usually a good pass. He scored against Marine. Oh, that's Marine. But don't mind the opponent, you got to score, right? You got to win. Came on and battered them up. So he's had a good season for me. I will give him. I'm not going to give him. I think he has been great, if I'm honest, for large parts of the season. Even when we were shocking, he was still trying. I'm going to give him a 7 as well. So big up in Ndombele. Højbjerg, this is the kind of player we've been missing. A real defensive midfielder, not Eric Dyer. He's not that. I don't know if he's a defender, or I don't think he's the word defender should be put in front of him. Whatever he is, whether he's a midfielder or a defender, whatever it is, the defender word should not be used. I think he's like a false centre back or a false defensive midfielder. Maybe that's what he is, because he's definitely not a real defender. But Højbjerg is what we've been missing. Him and Ndombele, like I said. And Højbjerg breaking stuff up, and Ndombele just going forward. He did have a bad game against Everton. Both games against Everton, he was not great. I think Everton might be his bogey team, but he did have a few towards the end. But for the last part of the season, he has been what we've been missing, and he's been brilliant, giving at least 7, 8 out of 10s every game. And this is what we need. We build around him in that midfield. We get someone, a good player like Ndombele or something like that around him, then, and a nice number 10, this team will be definitely going places. Trust me, and a good defense behind him. I think he's the truth. So for me, Højbjerg for me, bar those 2 Everton games and a couple of games at the end, he's been brilliant, and I'm giving him an 8. I don't care what no one says. We've missed it. We've needed a player like that, and he showed why. So for me, and I remember against Arsenal at home, he just bossed that midfield. Yeah, 8 all day. The Celso injured when he did play, especially towards the end of the season. Awful. Doesn't do enough for me. Doesn't score enough goals. Although we did score against Man City, actually, and that, I think it was 2-0 win. But still, doesn't do enough. Doesn't score enough. Doesn't get enough assists. And he's just a passenger, and we don't need passengers in our midfield. Him and Højbjerg don't work. So he's just been average this season. because, as I said, he's been injured, and when he has played, some games he has decent, some are not. So put him over, put a balance. Probably give him 4 this season. He's not been good. We're gonna go with Lucas Morinets. Him and the middle were our best players at one point in the season before Ryan Mason came in and didn't want to play him. But him, energy going forward, winning the ball, winning free kicks, just being direct, trying to get in the other box, in the opposition box, and make something happen. It was coming from that side there. Lucas driving. So, and obviously if no one finishes their dinner, you can't blame him. All you can do is go and try and make stuff happen. That's what you want. Use your pace, use your skill, and be direct. And that's what he was doing. He was great. And for me, in those games, over that, I'll give him 6. I think that, no, 7. I'll give him a 7. He was, for the season, he's been alright. I'll give him a 7. Son, the real number 7, my guy Sonny. This is hard. He had a good start to the season. Then, I say from like the last few months of the season, he just fell off. I don't know if he knew Harry Kane was going to leave, or he knows something we don't know. But he's been stood on that contract, and since that news broke out, he's not been great. But again, he scored 17 goals this season. It's still Sonny. But the back half of the season was not great, so I can't really give him any high marks, even though he's got a lot of goals and had a good start to the season. That's good, but you need to finish it as well. And he didn't finish it in the best way. So for me, Sonny, he could have got a lot higher, but I'm gonna have to give him a 6. I'll give Lucas a 6, and I'll give Son a 7. I'll give Son a 7. I'll switch them around. I think that's fair. We go with Harry Kane next. Golden Boot. Bailed us out loads of times, and if he couldn't bail us out, then it's either Son or no one. He was injured for a bit, came back a little earlier than I thought for that game against City, and I don't think he was fit when he came back in those games. He definitely didn't look up to speed. But again, he's the talisman. He's carrying his team on his back. Like, you can see his legs are just, that's why his ankles keep going, his knee keeps going, because he's carrying this team. By himself, he can't do it. He needs someone to help the load. So, you know, it is what it is. And for me, if he leaves, he's done all he can for this team, all he can for this club. And as fans, we just got to support and say, you know what, say you've tried, but this club ain't really putting enough to help you get what you want. And the teams that have come out have definitely not matched your drive. It seems like they don't want to win. You're not surrounded by winners, it looks like. Even though you have a World Cup winner in Hugo Lloris, and you got Højbjerg in there, it seems like there's other players in there that are not on winning. They're not on what you're on. So it does make it a little harder, but it is what it is. And for me, Harry Kane definitely by far the best player by a country mile, if we're being real. And I will give him 8, because he did have some poor games, but overall he's getting an 8, and there ain't no one topping that. So he gets an 8, a high 8. Some of the 7s I gave a low 7, but he's gonna get a high 8, close to a 9. I don't want to do halves. So no, I'm not doing no halves. So we'll give him an 8. Bergwijn, apart from that goal against Villa and City that he scored ages ago, what did he really do? He hasn't really, he scored against Man United. But other than that, he ain't really done anything. Warranting him to really get a high mark. When he's coming, he's just been poor. If anything, he's made the team look worse. You know, I know he's got ability, but he's just not showing it. And how much more time can we give this guy? We spent all this money on him. How much more time can we give him, really, to pick up? I'm not really one to, get a player out the door unless they're really, really bad, like Doherty. He's awful. I don't see no... It's different if I don't see no potential, then I'm quick to get you out the door. But if I see potential, then I try and give you a little bit of time. But how much more time can we give this guy? We need results, like, now. So if he stays and next season it's the same, then he's definitely got to go for me. It's just that simple. But for me, it's not a great season. He's getting a free. Gareth Bell, welcome back home. But he did come here injured. To be fair, he was injured when he came, and you can see because he was definitely off the pace. Definitely didn't look great, and he did miss quite a few games. And only made like little cameos here and there. But second half of the season, much better, especially the last couple of months. Definitely great, but I think this was more like a sentimental thing than anything else, than having the Bell that we know back. He did show glimpses, but again, he spent a lot of time out and a lot of time on the bench and probably doing up golf rather than playing football. But with that, I'll say all that to say, I think he had a decent season. Wasn't the worst. Weren't the worst player against the Arsenal game. He was awful. But other than that, considering most time he wasn't really match fit. He came out some big goals. To be fair, I'll give him a 5, standard 5. Even though it's better than that, but I'll give him a 5. And who next? Vinicius, I'm not gonna mark. He's definitely not played. Scarlett, no. And who else? That's about it, I think. Marking Day, no, I'm not marking them. There you go. That's all the senior players. They've all been. That's all their ratings. So that's the video. I told you it's gonna land today. And over here in London, it's looking like it's a nice day. It's really warm. So if you're here and you're not at work, go outside and enjoy the weather. And next week and this weekend and this weekend and next week is looking to be scorcher as well. So it's bank holiday. Make sure you go out and enjoy, but do it safely and responsibly. Whether you're at home or you're going out here, you're going to visit people, make sure you do it outside, obviously. But if you can, go out and enjoy it, because it's not every time you get nice weather. But that's that for the vid. I'm thinking about another vid. I might do like a keep and sell. I might do that video tomorrow. Who we're gonna keep, who we're gonna sell, possibly. But there'll be more content. As you know, the Euros is about to kick off, so we're gonna do some content around the Euros. We obviously can't do watch longs, ain't enough subs, but we can definitely do reviews like we're doing in the Tottenham game. So look out for that. We'll definitely be dropping some stuff, so look out for that. We ain't just gonna do Tottenham, we're gonna do Euros, and as I said, next season we're gonna pick 3 games and we're gonna do reviews on those, the top 3 games from the weekend, whoever they may be, or just choose the most interesting ones, whichever. But that will definitely land next season, so look out for that. It's gonna be a lot more content. But as for today, that's it. Enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the weather if it's nice where you're at. As always, remember to wash your hands, sanitize if you can't, 20 seconds, or sing happy birthday a couple of times, whatever they're saying. And obviously keep at 2 meter distance if you can, if not at least 1 meter. And most important, wear your damn mask. It ain't the 21st of June, so it can't be here. And as I said the other day, I saw someone wearing it on top of their head, and it looked crazy, like a party hat. They're definitely not doing that. Oh, bars. But yeah, that's me. As I said, enjoy the rest of your day, and until the next vid, I'm out of here, peeps. Peace.